Hello everyone. Again, I've come here to the court for the case of driving the car with no insurance, which is really a lie from the two police officers that have stopped me on the 8th of, is it May, I believe, which I have provided them with the same reference number and they refused to do that. This is a court here. I will show you the court. Here. This is a court. Now, that's the reference number, which is 1631H0000602736 2 November. Now, on the first time when I attended the case, they've asked me to plead guilty or not guilty. I pleaded not guilty because in fact the car had insurance with a reference number. And yes, I understand that they are saying that I have to provide a certificate, but a certificate is invalid. There is no law that says a reference number which is in fact on the certificate of the insurance is not a proof of evidence or not having a certificate. It isn't. There is no law says that. None in the country. Now, it seems like everyone in this COVID is making money from left to right. It's 24 hours that I have driven. 3 hours to come, 3 hours to go back. 3 hours to come today, 3 hours to go back. I have to come back again on the trials on the 22nd of January. Now, the first time I came here, having provided the court with a reference number at the time, that would they have went and confirmed and checked if at the time, in fact, I did not have insurance for the case to go ahead. But willy-nilly the case went ahead. Now, 3 things that I don't understand. Maybe if anyone knows the law into road traffic, or in this case, please leave a comment. Because 3 things I want to know. First of all, on the day that I have provided the insurance, the reference number to the police, which they did check, and then they reported me while having checked that reference number. Because if they went and checked the reference number and they found that at the time I did not have insurance, or that reference number for that insurance was cancellation due to whatever reason, they would have impounded the car there and then. They did not do so, knowing that that license was valid, that reference number and the certificate, or the car had insurance, having provided them with that reference number. But they went on ahead to report me for something that they knew I had insurance for. I came to the court, I pleaded not guilty, went off the trials, came back the second time, which is a waste of time basically. And you say these judges are working, these people are here to milk money out of people, and you call them judge. These people should be sacked out of their position. The fact that I have requested this to be referred to the High Court on 3 bases. Article 6, Equality Act of Human Rights, a fair trials, which I have not been getting, to this day I have not got. I have requested on 2 occasions to be provided with a duty solicitor, which is I'm qualified for. They refused to do that. They refused, although there was a duty solicitor at the time, the first time and this time, they refused to provide me with one, knowing that if I did have one within the laws, this case would be thrown out of court, and this police officer would be guilty of an offense Now, they are telling me I have to come back to trials. This is the problem. At the moment, from Stoke-on-Trent, there is a defamation of character, which is, I believe, is what led to those 2 police officers arresting me because of that defamation of character from Stoke-on-Trent. That's the reason they do not want to throw this case away. And the other thing is that I don't have a criminal record for 16 years that I've been in UK. None whatsoever. But because I have complained against Stoke-on-Trent police for their deception, fallacy, corruption, harassment, they have made it a crime against me with abuse of power to any laws. They turn around and put a defamation of character on my name, slander, which is the same thing that I have attended this court for. Now, the judge have a duty as a prosecutor, procurator, advisor, legal aid advice to the judge themselves. They have a right to check and make sure these cases are valid and true to their oath, which none of them are happening here. Nothing at all. And you tell me I have to drive 24 hours up and forth, back and forth, to come to the court that is trying to find me or to put me in prison so that I can have a criminal record because of defamation of character, which related from Stoke-on-Trent to those 2 police officers arrested me to this case to be going on ahead. On the basis that I have provided the court on the 2 occasions with the reference number, which they should have checked. But this is a problem. The police, for them to report me for not having insurance, they would have to have an evidence from national computer that reference number that I provided them at the time was not valid. For them to report this to the court, that have to be in place. So you are telling me I was reported to the court by false accusation, and then the court went on ahead refusing to refer this court to the High Court, to this case to the High Court, on the basis that I was not getting a fair trial. I was refused a duty solicitor on the 2 occasions. Even after I've provided an evidence reference number of an insurance, which at the time I did have. The other thing is that if I did not have that, I went to Glasgow, which is not far from here, with a letter that I was stopped by the police, giving them the reference number at the police station. They refused to take that. They wanted to talk to the police officer. I said, this is a reference number. I given them the number plate of the car, which should have been appeared on the police national computer, which I had the car at the time. But I was not stopped. The car was not flagged as non-insurance at the time by any MPR camera for that to be a valid accusation of driving a car with no insurance. How is that fair? How on earth is that a fair case, a fair trial, a fair accusation? And these are police. And coming here, I was stopped by the police. They are telling me slow down. I'm driving 30 miles an hour within the regulation. They are telling me slow down. That's the harassment, because they in the fact knows they were waiting for me, that I was coming to the court for that case. Now this is a problem. Things that happen at my residential area with the defamation of character in relation to this case, a Stoke-on-Trent complaint that I have made against them, as much as attempted murder against me by this police officer to cover up their abuse of power, it's another inhumane treatment. It's a torture. It's a tormenting. But for doing nothing, I have to go through hell because police officers lies. And you have a prosecutor. You have a legal aid advice to the judge. You have a judge. You have a duty solicitor, which they are all refusing the law. By all means of the reference number that they could check. That could be checked there and then at the time to the insurance number. That on such and such of this reference number, did this guy have insurance or not? The legal aid provider to the judge said, turned around and said to me, if I will have to have insurance, or I have a certificate now with my insurance, I have to have a certificate. I asked him this. So tell me, does your certificate have a reference number or not? I cannot answer you that. Why can you not answer me that? It's the law you have to provide the certificate. I said, yes, I have to provide the certificate. I understand that that's the law. But there is no law says that if I have not provided any form of evidence in regard to the certificate, it's a crime. Yes. But having provided a reference number that is on the certificate, that's enough evidence for the court to take it and go and check to verify. Then refusing evidence that I have provided to the court. They would have taken this, and on those bases I have requested them 3-4 occasions. They asked me to sign a letter, which means I would have agreed to come to the trials on the 22nd of January. Things that happen is as good as not making sure that I do not come back to these trials, because there is a reason they are refusing to acknowledge the reference number. There is a reason they are refusing to admit that the police have lied under oath and all this. And I do not know what could happen at the time. I might not even make it to court. As of what have already happening or been happening because of defamation of character, what I believe is what led to that arrest of those two police officers of this case to this day from Stoke-on-Trent. I even given them an evidence of a reference number of Lancaster Darwin Police, that at the time of the insurance there were 2 police officers when I have insured that car of that insurance, which they will be a witness, which they could have then rung and confirmed from Darwin with the evidence that they have. They refuse to do that. Those are valid evidence, proven evidence. They are refusing to do that. Now it seems they are not here for evidence. They are here to judge me, or for me to refuse attendance of the court. They can issue a warrant and then I can be prosecuted, because this is a problem now. If I refuse to attend the case on the basis that I have requested it to be referred to the High Court because I was not getting a fair trial, which I was not going to get a fair trial, that's why I did not attend the trials on the basis on the 2 previous that I have requested it to be referred to the High Court, because of the court refusing to take and acknowledge the evidence and checked that I have provided to the court at the time. That's a problem. And refusing me a duty solicitor, which are all this breach of court of law and purvey of court of justice. This is what's happening. And on the information, false information of a defamation of character from Stoke-on-Trent. This is a problem. Now, unless when I attend the court or the trials, they will turn around and say, oh, your thing was cancelled. If it was cancelled, I did not receive any confirmation or anything that the insurance was cancelled. So that will be invalid anyway. It would be invalid. But this is a problem. Let's say for the sake of it, by God's grace, I make it to the trials. I prove them with that. What then? Because the thing that I want here is this. These two police officers under oath, they have sworn their duty under oath to say we did went to check the insurance and it was invalid. That's why we have reported the case to the court. Because it's a lie. Now, if this case was referred to these two police officers to stop me because of defamation of character from Stoke-on-Trent, I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. Because it's a corruption. It's a leis, it's a slander, fallacies. That's what the problem. And how do I know I will make it back to that trials? How? I am pissed off that I have gone for 7 years in Stoke-on-Trent. I have gone through this shit. And yet, I am being treated unfairly at the prosecutor fiscial services office, 44 Bashclaw Street, Dumfries, DG12AP. Their reference is DF 20001787. I have asked the High Court of Scotland. They said if these people have failed to provide you with your duty solicitor, it was within your right as to a fair trial to refer this case to the High Court. Why are they refusing to refer the case to the High Court? Why? So I have to drive back, and I'm pissed off, to be honest. Bloody pissed off. This is not fair, man. This isn't fair at all. But it's only in 3 weeks' time. If God help, and I live till then, with everything that they're going on, poisoning, carbon monoxide, tormenting at my property and all that, and I did make it to the court, then, but please, leave your comment. If any solicitor or any legal representative knows the law as to why this have happened in this manners, or why it's being done under what laws, and I have to write all of them. No one is hearing me. So, thank you very much. I'll post it on YouTube, Facebook, JKK on YouTube, and please leave your comment, and stay safe. God bless all. Thank you.